a significant number of Australians who are feeling disenfranchised, crowded out in the housing market, and they blame migration.
The people are rising up. Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David. Today we've got the people of Europe, all the European nations basically rising up and pushing back against the mass immigration, bringing in dangerous migrants that are causing damage, destruction in the streets, ending people, the rule of law going out the window. We know the UK is the biggest source of this, where if you even fly your own flag, a British flag, the cops will either force you to take it down, they'll take your information, potentially even jail you for flying a British flag in Britain. If that weren't insane enough, we're seeing now 7 members of the AfD German party, this is the right-wing party in Germany that's gaining a lot of traction right now, have perished. They've suddenly, one after the other, only within a couple of weeks, have perished. What is going on? Let's jump into this. Starting this one off, we got a tweet from Elon Musk. It says the government in Britain is bribing hotel owners with multi-millions of pounds for 7-year contracts to house illegal migrants. Their goal is obvious to amplify and extend the illegal migrant tidal wave, not reduce it. Anyone saying otherwise is a liar. Thankfully, this good man rejected the bribe. We've got a guy here, James Melville. A boutique hotel owner in Cambridgeshire has rejected a $3 million 7-year contract to house migrants, saying it would harm the village, and refused to be a part of the arrogant government's asylum system. Wow. No wonder Britain is revolting here. Their government is trying to destroy the citizens' lives, much like what we got going on here, just on an even more extreme scale. Exactly, this proves the government isn't trying to stop the invasion, they're literally funding it. I mean, we got this one here. Government of Canada has updated its travel advisory for Italy to high degree of caution due to T-word. Like, what is going on right now? Italy, exercise high degree of caution in Italy due to threat of terror lord activity. And this is not just a random image on X. You can see right here on the Government of Canada website. It's right here. People are fed up with all this. I mean, we've got dangerous migrants being brought in. This is in Sweden. You can see a bunch of these guys with one of these flags. There's some rough stuff. This guy comes up from behind, grabs this Swedish guy, and gives him the old whammer. Now, I can't play the rest of that, but you know what happens here. This guy is in a lot of pain, probably concussion, maybe has to go to the hospital. The leftist governments are intentionally bringing in people that are harming us. I mean, look at this one that the pleb posted here. Ireland, Germany, France, Poland, Britain, Australia, Spain, and Austria. The only country here that really has a grip on this is Poland. They have just shut the door and said, no, you're not coming in. Is there even one country in the world that has a majority of its people that want mass immigration? I mean, our country it's worked so well. We brought in the best of the best into our country, but now we're getting a mix of some good people and a whole bunch of bad people. Car thieves, gangsters, mobsters. We don't want the murderers from Uganda. We don't want the murderers from the Middle East and South Asia. We should be vetting everyone, but the Liberals don't vet people. Sean Fraser, when he's immigration minister, open the doors wide open. Come on in if you're a gangster or a goon. And don't worry, we make the laws really nice here. So if you do attack a Canadian, even end a Canadian, don't worry, we'll make it really easy on you so you can go out and do it again. I mean, look at these stories here. Elon Musk posting this. Now this happens frequently in Europe. You've got in 2018, Louisa Jesperson and Marina Yuland went backpacking in Morocco's Atlas Mountains. 3 ISIS members in the mountains stalked them to their tent, attacked them at night. Both the girls were R-word, and then slowly this removed slowly. It's disgusting. Danish 17-year-old girl who used pepper spray to fight off a R-word near migrant asylum center is told she will be prosecuted for carrying the weapon. No, the person who did this should be ended. Got this one here. 16-year-old Ukrainian refugee Liana in Gothenburg, Germany, got pushed in front of a train by someone who had a deportation order issued in March of 2025. The authorities never carried out the deportation, so her life was lost. This is a direct attack on Western civilization. Moving back to the UK, what do we got here? British police encircle terrifying children, making them give their details as they fly the flag. No flying the flags in Britain.
Yes, they open their good.
The flag is down here on the bottom right.
Target my children, yeah? I'm not targeting you are.
This is all madness. So with all the protests, one thing we're seeing is the AfD party, this is the right-wing party in Germany, the only one that's against the mass immigration, is seeing an absolute surge in popularity. And what are we seeing with this? Half a dozen of their politicians Now let's take a look at the polling data for the AFD. It's this blue line here. So you can see they were down here about 18%. This is back September 2024. And over the past year, you see them rise up to 19, 20, 21%, 22, 23, 24, 25. And then you can see the CDU, the black one on the top, has come down and matched them. A little bit of deviation. And now you're seeing the AFD right neck and neck there, 25%. They don't like this. The AFD is becoming the most popular party in Germany. And what has happened? We've got this 6 candidates from Germany's right-wing AFD die weeks before election, sparking conspiracy theories. This is not conspiracy theories. The statistical probability of this is virtually impossible. These people are being whacked. They're being poisoned. They're being whatever it may be. So it says here, authorities say no foul play was involved. Yeah, right. The remarkable series of deaths in the western state of North Rhine-Westphalia weeks before local council elections in Germany's most populous state has sparked chaos and widespread speculation online. 4 AFD candidates died: Ralf Lange, Wolfgang Klinger, Wolfgang Schietz, and Stefan Berendes, requiring ballots to be printed ahead of the September 14 vote. It later emerged that 2 AFD reserve candidates, René Herford and Patrick Tietze, also died. So 4 died, then 2 more died, and that's not all. What do we have here? A 7th AFD politician dies ahead of local elections next week. Somebody is assassinating these people. You can't have all these people, which you can see listed here, died at age 59, sudden and unexpected, ruled natural causes. Died of 71, death described as unexpected natural causes. Died at 59, same thing, natural causes. People don't die at 59 from natural causes. Ralf Lange, 66, also natural causes. René Herford, kidney failure. Patrick Tietze, reported as this S word. And looking at the different reports, if you look in here, no evidence of third-party negligence after the death of 4 AFD local politicians. They say heart attack, a precondition. Don't worry, guys. Just because 7 of these, only of this one party's members perished, nothing is foul going on here. Somebody's assassinating these people. Like, this is some seriously disturbing stuff. What if we woke up and found that 7 of the Conservative Party of Canada just suddenly perished? That's what's going on here. This is serious. Somebody is taking these people out because they don't want that party to win. They're trying to send a message. They're trying to spook them. This is a Palestinian protest in Germany.
Wirklich den Tod ausgesetzten, noch viel schlimmer als wir die letzten 2 Jahre gesehen haben, mit der neuen Treibstoffrichtlinie. Als ich mit der Hilfegeleitung Koreaner habe ich versucht, eine Initiative auf die Straße zu bringen.
This is crazy. Check out this one, a huge anti-immigration group here in Australia. So this is, most Western nations are revolting right now. Australia, a bunch of European nations all at the same time. Got this one, Australians hit the streets in 6 major cities demanding the end to mass immigration.
Wow.
So Australians in full-blown revolt here. Someone asking if this is true. So AI saying here it's between 5 and 15,000. We've got Sky News in Australia.
It's not a mistake and it's not a coincidence that this is not just happening in Australia, but it's happening across the West. It was only today in the UK that they had similar protests. And so at some point in time, you have to say, maybe it's not conspiracy. Maybe people aren't making it up. Maybe people aren't racist. Maybe there's something real and legitimate as to why people are showing up and fronting at these protests. All I want to point out is that there is nothing wrong with having a national identity. And unfortunately, in Australia, we're having an identity crisis. Once upon a time, we knew what it meant to be an Australian. Today, there are plenty of Australians, including people who have migrated and assimilated here, who understood that. The point is, why can we not point out certain facts and certain truths without being called a racist? It is true. Everyone is allowed to have a homeland except for us, apparently. And there's nothing wrong with pointing out that we are taking in migrants at ungodly levels from countries that, unfortunately, in 2025 are finding a very hard time to assimilate to our Australian identity and our Australian culture. And it is not racist for pointing that out, because we will lose our home, we will lose our people, we will lose our culture, and that's sadly what's happening. And there's nothing wrong with saying, let's not have that.
She's bang on there. I mean, we're losing our culture. They're bringing in the worst of the worst. Whose idea is this? This is somebody's plan to roll this out in Australia, in Canada, in America, in Sweden, in UK, in Ireland, in France, everywhere. Every Western country is getting this onslaught of dangerous migrants. We're not getting doctors and engineers. We're getting people who attack doctors and engineers. Now, somewhere I didn't expect them to be talking about this is the CBC. We've got one rare clip here where they're actually talking about this stuff on the CBC.
We're going to shift our focus over to Sydney, or rather to Australia now, where thousands took to the streets today in nationwide rallies to protest against immigration. Demonstrations were mostly peaceful, but scuffles broke out at gatherings in Adelaide and Melbourne. The Australian government has condemned the protests, saying they spread hate and are tied to far-right groups. Journalist Phil Mercer is in Sydney for us. Phil, good to see you. So what's the latest there?
We've had coast-to-coast rallies here in Australia organised by the March for Australia group. This is a group that is agitating against what it calls is Australia being overrun by mass immigration. We have seen mostly peaceful rallies across the country. In Sydney, for example, about 15,000 people attended today's protest, but there were clashes between rally participants and the police in the city of Melbourne, and also pro and anti-migrant rallies. Participants there clashed in Adelaide. So mostly peaceful, but a few arrests. And many of the participants were at pains to point out that this wasn't necessarily about race. It was about the challenges Australia faces because they believe that Australia is letting in too many people.
It's not about immigration, it's about our country bursting at the seams. And our government is bringing more and more people in. Our kids struggling to get homes. Our hospitals, we have to wait 7 hours. Our roads, there's lack of roads. They're just bursting at the seams.
You see, they're having all the same problems we're having. The UK is at the epicenter. It's right at the front. It's the leader in this. You've got Australia and Canada close behind. America has revolted against this. Hence, we're seeing Donald Trump put into power. Now he's really pushing back against it. But a lot of these other Western countries were all following along here, all marching towards that cliff.
We have to slow down immigration, probably for 10 years so we could catch up in Australia.
The Australian government says that these rallies have sowed social division in this country, and senior ministers are blaming neo individuals and far-right groups for fomenting.
I had to bleep out the word there, but he said neo WW2 funny mustache guy, that kind of group.
Some of the agitation at the demonstrations today. So safe to say, immigration in this country, immigration in Australia, always a very divisive issue.
Yeah, let's talk.
The issue is not immigration. As I mentioned, it's bringing in doctors and engineers versus the people who attack doctors and engineers. It's not vetting the immigrants. It's bringing gangsters, goons, and goblins from overseas. We don't want the people who come in and try to attack us. That's what all these liberal, leftist, Western nations are doing.
A bit more about that, Phil. I mean, as you talk about, the sensitivity here, we know that when we look at Australia, 1 in 2 people are either born overseas or has a parent born overseas. But delve into it a bit deeper in terms of the situation there and that sensitivity around immigration.
Well, there's no doubt that Australia has had a surge in immigration, but when you look at the official figures, that is falling quite drastically, those numbers. So there are experts here who say that the whole idea that Australia is being swamped by mass immigration is simply not true. The government insists that it is working to reduce migrant numbers, and modern Australia is a country built on immigration since European colonization began. Europeans and waves of migration has influenced the shape and makeup of this country. Economically, Australia has depended on skilled migrants, on international students. On the other side of the coin, as we've been hearing at these rallies across the country today, there are a significant number of Australians who are feeling disenfranchised, crowded out in the housing market, and they blame migration. It is a very divisive, a very complex issue.
No, it's basic math. When you have 250,000 houses like in Canada being built every year by Canadian builders, and you're bringing in 2 or 3 million people, there's immediately a housing shortage. Times 4, times 8, however many people you're bringing in. Immigration needs to be brought down to almost zero and only leave a few spots for the people we really need. More doctors, more nurses, more construction workers. Everyone else can't come in. That's what we need to be doing. We need to be kicking out all the people who illegally are here. We need to be kicking out all the temporary foreign workers who are trying to abuse our system and fake refugee asylum claimants, kick them all out. The ones that are legitimately from countries that are dangerous, those are the only ones that should be considered for refugee status. And we shouldn't be rolling out the red carpet with $80,000 a year for these people to come and live. Get a job like everyone else. That's what we should be doing here.
But you have to say, too, that the anti-immigration rallies we saw today were far smaller, for example, than we saw for those pro-Palestine rallies we had in Australia a few weeks ago.
Phil, appreciate the update on this. We'll keep a close eye. Phil Mercer for us.
I'm actually shocked they ran this segment on CBC. Canadians need to wake up and get their feet on the ground. We got this one here, surprisingly, from CTV News. Mob burns Nigerian woman to her end over Islam blasphemy claim, says police. You got a girl here who lived in the UK for a handful of years. This is her take of what it's like living there.
I spent the last 3 years living in England as an American, and everyone always asks me if it's as bad as they say, to which my answer is always, it is worse. You have no idea how this affects your day-to-day life, how unsafe I felt living in London. And I lived in West London in Zone 1, which is like about as nice as it gets. And I had my phone stolen multiple times right out of my hand, because what they do is they wear masks and then they'll take their little e-bikes and they'll come and grab your phone out of your hand. And they do it all the time. It's like known. They'll stalk you. They'll follow you.
So I can confirm what she just said there, because I already showed a story maybe 2 weeks ago of some British rule where they're painting a purple line on the walkways and to not stand near the purple line, which is against the road, because of the e-bike thefts. The e-bike guys, gangsters with black masks, zing by where people are walking, they snatch the phone and then keep driving away. So they had this new flowery policy where you stand 1 meter in away from the road so the gangsters can't grab your phone. The gangsters will just drive in there, grab your phone and drive out.
They'd use intimidation tactics. You're constantly looking over your shoulder. I wouldn't dream of walking home alone at night. I'd always take a cab. You have to constantly live in fear and with the expectation that something bad is going to happen. And it's always at the hands of migrants. And so much of it goes unreported and undocumented that it's like, it is so much worse than people understand. And it affects your life in ways that you don't understand. I really hope that the US learns from this and sees this, because the only way that these people got in are through leftist ideologies, open borders, virtue signaling, DEI initiatives. Keir Starmer himself recently said that the greatest threat to the UK is Islamophobia, not Islam. I mean, he's literally paying for them to come in and rape women and children, to commit crimes at higher rates. It's sickening. It's disgusting. It's a government against its own people. It's created two-tier justice, and this is all through leftist ideologies. And we are so lucky in America that we have an ocean separating us from Europe right now. But if we don't learn from their failures and their fall, which is what's going to happen, their fall, we deserve what's coming for us. And what's coming for us is ugly.
This is a grim picture here. I'll never go to the UK simply because their laws are so broken right now. That country has to straighten itself out, even for the chance to have people to come back and visit that crap hole now. Because what she's saying here is not wrong. There are groups, there are gangs of people that go around R-wording younglings and get away with it. And it's the younglings who get punished. That makes no sense. Got a video here. It's a pro-Palestinian protest in Melbourne. Got some locals here lighting up one of their flags. And then it just turns into, fisticuffs and all this kind of stuff. They start fighting, more fighting. Got the cops in here. Can't play any of that stuff. Meanwhile, in France, we've got a Tanzanian man has been shot to his end by police after poking multiple people while shouting Allahu Akbar. I can't show it here, but you can see, so he's got a pokey in his hand. He's going around poking all the local French people with his pokey poke, yelling Allahu Akbar. And finally, these police put this guy down. I'm not going to show you anything with the guy's laying on the ground. He's gone now. That's where he belongs in the afterlife, because we don't need garbage like this on planet Earth.